Coverage you can count on continues with Glenn Marini's Sports Report.
In part 3 of our Summit City Boys of Summer series, we meet Scott Woodward, a star baseball player growing up. The Norwell grad has been garnering cheers from the crowd for years. He just rarely hears them. Joe Whalen has Scott's story.
I don't hear the bat very often. I don't rely on sound at all in the game of baseball. I believe I'm 100% hearing impaired in my left ear and about 90 to 95% loss in my right ear, which is severe to profound.
Baseball is a game rich in sight and sound, but Scott Woodward's game is played in silence.
Some people say that because of my hearing disability that they don't think that I'll be able to do what a normal person can do. But the only problem with me is that I can't hear like everybody else can, but everything else on my body works just fine.
But it wasn't always that way. Scott Woodward was born on December 3rd, 1988. By the time he had passed his first birthday, it was apparent something was terribly wrong.
At 14 months, he was stricken with spinal meningitis. And we knew the first thing was to save his life.
I just said, what's meningitis? You've heard of it, but until you actually firsthand experience it, you don't know what it is. He had pneumococcal meningitis, which tends to run a higher risk of a hearing loss. As soon as he was released, we went to the ENT and they did the testing and confirmed the hearing loss. I remember going up to him shortly after when he was at home and just banging pots and pans behind him and he didn't budge. I don't ever remember sitting down and crying or feeling like poor pity me. It was just we're going to do everything we can in our power to make this the best possible out of a bad situation for Scott.
Any concerns the Woodwards had about Scott's ability to find a sense of normalcy soon began to fade when he discovered baseball.
He was about 2 years old. I tell the story about going out front with the big-barreled wiffle ball bat, standing about 4 or 5 feet away from him, and he would take a cut at the ball, and once you tossed it, you would duck because he would hit it so hard.
Growing up, I always thought that I was good, but I didn't realize how good I could be. It wasn't until I started weight training in high school and seeing how my body responded, and I got so much stronger.
The results were staggering. As a senior at Norwell, Scott batted .454, was named All-State, and helped lead the Knights to a perfect 35-0 record and a state championship. By the time he completed his first season at baseball-powered Coastal Carolina University, he was a freshman All-American.
He just unbelievable freshman. He set the bar so high. And, his next 3 years were very good. He had a great career at Coastal Carolina. It was a great environment, great school for him to attend and play baseball.
Then came the 7th round of the 2011 Major League Draft.
First thing that went through my mind was Dodger baseball.
I was sitting at work, and when I saw his name pop up, I yelled, and all the people around me knew what was going on because they knew that the draft was going on.
I mean, everybody knows Dodger baseball history from being in Brooklyn and going out to L.A., and Dodger Blue.
But Dodger Blue wasn't in the cards. After just 34 games with the Dodgers rookie farm team, Scott suffered an elbow injury that required Tommy John surgery. His season was done. He'd miss all of the following year as well before the Dodgers released him. 2013 began with the news that the Traverse City Beach Bums, an independent team, had signed Scott. But early into this season, he suffered another setback, a broken hand, and 6 more weeks without baseball. Finally healthy again, Scott's focus has never been sharper.
You keep thinking about trying to play professional baseball. That was the biggest motivation for me. If I stay healthy, I have a pretty good chance to get back into a farm system, I think. I don't look at myself differently than any other person, player.
Baseball is a game rich in sight and sound. Scott Woodward's game speaks volumes.
And Scott does use his role as a baseball player to give back. He worked with hearing impaired kids in South Carolina during college and also does the same back here in Indiana. And an amazing